Why did General Lee ignore John Bell Hood's desperate warning at Gettysburg? The answer lies in this shocking letter, Hood's last plea that might have changed history. What you're about to hear contradicts everything you know about this fateful battle. But here's what makes this even more chilling. What if Hood was right? What if just one different decision could have turned the tide of the entire Civil War? Stick with me, because this forgotten letter reveals the truth about that crucial July afternoon. Picture this, July 2nd, 1863, the fate of the Confederacy hanging in the balance. General John Bell Hood, one of Lee's most aggressive commanders, suddenly becomes the voice of caution. He makes not one, not two, but three desperate pleas to change battle plans. And each time, Robert E. Lee refuses. Why would the South's most celebrated general ignore such crucial advice at this pivotal moment? The answer lies in Hood's long-forgotten letter, a document so explosive it challenges everything we thought we knew about Gettysburg. Before we continue this gripping account, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Whether you're joining us from the rolling hills of Pennsylvania, the deep South, or anywhere across this great nation, drop your state in the comments below. If Hood's heartbreaking plea and Lee's fateful decision have moved you like they've moved me, be sure to hit that subscribe button. On July 2nd, 1863, years later in 1875, General James Longstreet, who many former Confederates had turned away from because he changed his political views, reached out to Hood. He wanted to hear Hood's thoughts about Gettysburg. I want to share the letter Hood wrote back, where he told the story in great detail. I got to the heights of Gettysburg with my staff shortly after sunrise on July 2nd. My division began moving into an open field nearby. The soldiers stacked their weapons and took a short rest as we waited for orders from our leaders up ahead. That morning, we stood with Generals Lee and A.P. Hill and watched the Union troops carefully. General Lee, in full uniform, with his coat buttoned tight and his sword belt snug, paced under the tall trees. His field glasses hung at his side. Now and then he would stop to take a closer look at the enemy. He looked hopeful, but also deep in thought about the battle ahead. Not far from us, Colonel Fremantle from England sat in a tree using binoculars to watch the Union soldiers on the hills. It was clear that General Lee wanted us to attack that morning. He told me, "The enemy is here, and if we don't beat him, he will beat us." But I thought it was smarter to wait for Pickett's division, which was still behind us. Later, while sitting under a tree with you, I remember you said, "The general seems anxious. He wants me to attack, but I don't want to do it without Pickett." I never liked going into a fight without being fully ready. I always said, I don't like to go into battle with one boot off. The morning passed slowly, full of tension. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we made our move. Since Pickett's division hadn't arrived, we turned our attention to the far right and got ready to attack along the Gettysburg Road. McClellan moved forward, and I followed with my division. Soon I got orders to speed up and move ahead of McClellan. I sent out a group of men to tear down fences and clear the way for us. My orders were simple: get my division across Gettysburg Road, set up a battle line, and prepare to attack. Before we reached the road, I sent some of my trusted Texas scouts ahead to find the enemy's far left side. They came back quickly and said the enemy's flank was on Round Top Mountain. The land there was open, and we could sneak through the woods and attack from the side and behind. They also saw that the Union wagons were packed tightly, making them easier to hit from that side.
Once I reached Emmitsburg Road, I acted fast. I set up 1 or 2 artillery batteries and started firing. The enemy fired back, showing us where their lines were. Their left flank was near Round Top, and their line curved in a concave shape like a bowl.
As we moved down Gettysburg Road, I saw many enemy troops in front of their main line, between the road and Round Top. They were in battle formation near a peach orchard. To follow orders and attack along the road, I had to go through that group first. But at the base and up the mountain slope were big rocks stacked high, leaving only narrow gaps for my men to climb through. This would break our lines apart as we moved up the hill. Even worse, their main line was on high ground. Because of their bowl-shaped line, we would be hit from the front, side, and even the back. It seemed nearly impossible to climb those rocks under fire and still win the fight. I knew that if we were going to win, it would cost many brave lives. Still, my scouts had gathered this information very quickly, faster than it's taken me to tell it. I had just gotten to Gettysburg Road when I felt I had to tell you attacking up the road wouldn't work. I asked for permission to go around Round Top and hit the enemy from behind. I sent a staff officer with my request. Your answer came back. General Lee's orders are to attack up Gettysburg Road. I sent another officer to repeat my concerns. Again you replied, General Lee's orders are to attack. I kept firing my cannons and felt more certain that the enemy's line did reach Round Top. I didn't think the attack would work. The enemy's position was so strong I thought they could beat us just by rolling rocks down the mountain. I sent a third officer, my adjutant general, Colonel Harry Sears, a brave and smart man, to ask again and suggest you come see for yourself. He came back with the same message. Then Colonel Fairfax from your staff also came and repeated the same order. After making this final plea, my only protest ever in my military career, I gave the order to attack. As my troops moved out, you came to speak with me. I again shared my concerns and said I regretted not being allowed to go around Round Top. You said we must follow General Lee's orders. I pushed on with my men under heavy fire. About 20 minutes after reaching the peach orchard, I was badly wounded in the arm and had to be carried from the battlefield. As I was taken away, I felt deep sadness. I worried about my brave men, some of the best in our army. I truly believe that if I had been allowed to go around Round Top, we could have taken it and beaten the enemy. Respectfully yours, J.B. Hood, John. Hood didn't write this letter right after the battle, which makes some parts unclear. Still, his letter to Longstreet gives us an amazing look at what he went through during one of the most important moments of the Civil War. Hood's thoughts show us what it was like to be a Confederate general facing tough choices in the middle of war. His powerful words help us understand the fear, pain, and courage soldiers felt on that day. Sadly, just 4 years after writing this letter, John Bell Hood died in New Orleans. His life and military actions still interest historians and Civil War fans. What he did at Gettysburg and the decisions he made still matter today. They remind us how much these battles shaped American history. And so we're left with history's haunting question. What if Lee had listened? John Bell Hood's desperate plea at Gettysburg represents more than just a tactical disagreement. It was a moment when the entire trajectory of the Civil War might have turned. His letter to Longstreet forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that even great leaders like Robert E. Lee could be blinded by their own certainty. Consider the tragic irony. Hood, known for his aggressive style, became the voice of caution. Lee, the brilliant strategist, clung to a flawed plan. Was this the South's last, best chance slipping through their fingers? Or was the Confederacy's fate already sealed before the first shot was fired? The deeper we examine this moment, the more profound the questions become. Did military tradition blind Lee to battlefield realities? Could Hood's flanking maneuver have broken the Union line? And most controversially, was Gettysburg not the North's victory, but the South's greatest self-inflicted defeat? Hood's story forces us to remember that history isn't just about what happened, but about what might have been. His letter is more than a military report, it's a testament to the courage of speaking truth to power, even when that power wears the face of a legend. Here's what should trouble us most. We celebrate Lee's honor, but Hood showed true honor that day. The honor to protest, the honor to obey, and the honor to carry the weight of what followed. 4 years later, Hood would die with these unanswered questions. Today, they live on in every student of history. So I leave you with this final thought. When we study battles like Gettysburg, are we really learning about war or about the timeless human struggle between conviction and doubt, between loyalty and truth? The next time you walk those Pennsylvania fields, listen closely. The wind still carries Hood's warning and history's eternal lesson. Even the greatest leaders must sometimes heed the voices they'd rather not hear. What do you think? Could Hood's plan have changed history, or was Lee's failure deeper than any single decision? Tell me in the comments, and if this video made you rethink Gettysburg, share it with someone who loves history's great debates. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you in the next